back to Narrative and Beyond with Michael Adekombi. I still have my... Welcome back to Narrative and Beyond with Michael Adekombi. I still have my guest here today, DAMILARE. Just like I said, he's a very brilliant chap, straight A's in SSC. SSC is equivalent of GCSE in UK. He has first class in economics. So I've been trying to have a conversation with him on his academic journey so far, and his journey so far to success as a young chap. He's a Gen Z. And I'm going to be picking his brain more. I was saying the other time, before we finish the other part, the first part of this conversation, about social media, the impact of social media, which has become, is here with us. It's not going anywhere soon, all right? How do you think young people can overcome the negative pressure? Social media comes with a lot of positivities, right? A lot of positives, all right? It's a tool, as it were. It's a tool for information, for communication, even for business, However, it comes with the negatives. It can be a major distraction and can lead to destruction as well, because people can learn a lot of negative behaviors and habits, and all of that on the internet. Now, what would be your advice to the young people, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, on how to use social media effectively for the positives and not allow it to distract or to destroy them? That's my question.
All right. That question is very, very germane to our generation, especially considering the technological landscape that we are in right now. And then it's not going to, this advancement in technology is not going to wane anytime soon. It's going to get better. So I think that one of the things that we can do as Gen Zs is that we must learn how to control social media and not let social media control us.
Control social media. Don't allow social media to control you. Okay.
And one of the best ways in which you can do that is, first of all, control your use of social media.
Your exposure to it.
Yeah. Control your exposure to it. The first thing is, most times people don't post their struggles on social media. They post their wins. So the way you understand that, it will solve half of your problem. Unlike all this pressure that social media comes with, especially, there are different social media platforms. And as a Gen Z, let me explain it. Twitter is the place of bass books when it comes to savage replies. For me, I'm not even on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, but I don't use it. Maybe only when I want to check Naira rates, as a financial analyst, or I want to check some things.
Twitter is now called X.
Yes, X. Everything on that Twitter is just very toxic fights and etc. But some people, that's what they use, and then they've been able to harness the positivity in it. Instagram, that one is for pleasure. When you want to see people living their glimpse, their glam,
their perfect lives.
Their perfect lives, just go to Instagram. You always see people celebrate everything, fine, good pictures, clean pictures. LinkedIn, people are already turning LinkedIn to a place for oppression now, even though it's supposed to just be a space for connection,
professional connections. Yeah.
So everything has good sides, and then they also have bad sides. But you have to understand how every of these social media platforms work for you to be able to harness them well. I won't go to Twitter now. For someone who I know that I care about my mental health so much, I won't go to social media and drop on Twitter and drop some hot takes. I know they will come after me. They will drag me like generator, like mechanogen. And if I've not been able to build that tough mindset,
that resilience.
Yes, so their resilience to be able to wade off every of their words and not allow it to get to me. Then I will always have panic attacks when I open my Twitter. I always have all those things. So I think first thing is understand how the social media platforms work. and then don't allow it to control your lifestyle, because most times people post their wins rather than their struggles. The second thing,
and they also post their lies.
yes, lies. Right? So I think the second thing now, which many people don't actually talk about, is the time you spend on social media. In as much as you have a good or you have a positive mindset, you know how the social media platforms work. You are approaching it with a good mindset. If you are spending 8 hours, 10 hours of your day on social media, no matter what, the negativity will seep in. No matter what. So I think for me too, at some point, I think last year I had to just go back to my digital well-being and then put some
Measures.
measures on my use of social media, because especially with these reels, before you know it, you're just scrolling. You will laugh, you will scroll, you will laugh, and then there are a lot of content creators out there, and all of them are doing so well in their own right. So before you know it, they will keep you engaged from morning till night. And there's lights, especially if you are staying in a good place, like maybe a good place like Lagos, there's lights. So there's nothing like your phone will die. You will always be scrolling, and before you know it, you have spent time, you have spent money that used to buy data safe, and then you have not been able to channel your time into productive use. So I think people should learn to put gauge on the way they use social media. There's digital well-being there. You can put 2 hours. After 2 hours, it automatically locks maybe Instagram or Facebook that you are using. It locks it, and then you won't be able to use it for the rest of the day. Before you know it, those things help to keep productive time, and then you'll be able to channel it into resourceful use.
All right, thank you. Okay, let me just leave that a bit. Let's go back to when you were when you were studying as undergraduates in the university, and how you were able to achieve. You said that you didn't finish as a first class student, which is 4.5 or 5.0.
Yes.
In your first year. So what changed? What triggered the drive for that excellence to finish with first class? What changed, and how were you able to achieve it?
Okay, so let me just correct slightly. I finished in my first year, but I didn't finish my first semester.
Okay, first semester. Okay, I see.
My first semester, I finished with a 4.4 something.
Okay, that's very close already.
Yeah,
very close.
But you know, for someone who was just coming from secondary school, straight A's in WAEC, what did you say? Before I even did WAEC, I did GC in SS2 to SS3, because my school allows us to do it's like a variant of WAEC to GC in SS2 to SS3, and then just to prepare and see how WAEC looks like. When I did my GC in SS2, I already had 7 A's in GC already. Then I went to do WAEC, I had 8 A's, then JAMB, aced all my exams. Now I'm coming and I'm not even having a first class. It was such for me, I can't beat a shame. Like, how will I even go back? How will I even carry my eyes? Like, how did I come so low to not having a first class? But I think it was just a reality check for me, because I was approaching secondary school. I was approaching university the same way I was approaching secondary school. So one of the things I did was I had to change my approach to studying in university. For secondary school, there was already a good schedule, a good structure in place that helped me to
by the school.
Yes, by the school by themselves. For an example, let me quickly say, because of time, we always do 3 regular tests, unlike CA tests that everybody does 1. We do 3 regular tests in a term. Then after that, you will do 10 class tests.
When you say CA, you mean continuous assessments? Is that correct?
Continuous assessment. That's supposed to carry 30 marks, then exam 70. For that 30 marks, how we grade it is we will have to do 10 class tests. You have to do 10 assignments and 3 regular tests. They will now aggregate everything to be able to form your 30 marks. So imagine you are doing 10 class tests. So it's almost as if after every class you do a test. After every class you do a test. So before you know it, they are already refreshing your mind for you. So you don't have to even do too much to read on your own, because you are reading for your class tests, you are reading for your assignments and all those stuff. But getting to university, they don't even give class tests. Even the test they will give, sometimes they don't even grade it, they will not mark it. So before you know it, you are just there chilling, enjoying your life. Before you know it, exam is here. and you have to now start carrying your book and reading. So I had to just work on building my own structure again when I got to second semester. So I had to build my structure, even though I didn't start reading at the beginning of the semester, but I didn't keep it to the end of the semester before I started. So those things really helped me going forward. And I think also, and I always like to give this advice to people that are in university, your year 1, year 2 is always the time you used to probably build your GPs, because by the time you get to year 3, most times year 3 is always the toughest, because you have more courses, you would have weekend lecturers that want to put people's GPs, especially if you went to
public school,
right. So my year 2, I just knew that my year 1 was not, my first semester was not too strong. I have to build this GP in year 1, year 2. So year 1 second semester, I had a 4.8. So that brought me back to first class. Then year 2 first semester, I had a 5.0. That was clean sheet. Then I had another maybe 4.8 or so in my year 2. So those things positioned me well on my first class. I was on like maybe 4.78 or so as at the end of second year. When the torrent of year 3 would come, the vicissitude of year 3 came upon me, I was affected, but it didn't affect me that much because I had already built a stable ground in year 1 and year. And then another thing is, I think going forward, as you're advancing in level or in class, you should learn to read and also study based on the lecturers you have had. You will have met some lecturers in maybe year 1 or year 2, and so meeting them again in year 3 should give you an advantage, because you have already known how these people teach.
You know their style.
You already know their style. So some way it should give you a leverage on how you approach their course, and also you would have understood your own structure as well. This is how I read, and this is how I read. So I feel those are the things people should put into place to get better grades as they move on.
All right, thank you. Procrastination, it's a challenge for young people. In fact, don't let me say young people, for everyone in life. I remember there was a book I read many years ago, like 20 years ago now. It's called On Time, On Target Manager. It's about procrastination. It's about how to overcome procrastination. What would be your advice to young people, to Gen Z, on how to handle and overcome procrastination? And how are you overcoming procrastination as well?
So procrastination, as you said, is for everybody. So, and I don't think everybody, I don't think most people have asked the code of procrastination, me inclusive too. Although I'm doing better because you can't amount to anything in life if you're someone who just procrastinates every time. There's a book, Eat That Frog or something.
Yes,
so
Eat That Frog. Yes,
you have to eat it now and then forget about the frog. So one of the things that I do, particularly now, that helps me with procrastination is, I think I've said a lot about scheduling and structuring too much on this call, and I think that's one of the major life hacks that has been helping me, even if I'm not yet there, but at least it's helping me to get there to some extent. So recently I started journaling, and then I started writing my schedule for the day. So journaling in the sense that after the day ends, even though some days I miss, right? But at least the fact that I have it in mind that every day I have to do it just helps me. After the day ends, when I'm about to sleep, I bring out my red jotter and then I write, oh, these are the things that happened today. So when I look at it's more like a reflection of what happened today, and I see that I really did not do anything. It will affect the way I will do my schedule early in the morning the next day. I have a jotter for my schedule to the next day. I write it there. Sometimes I put times to it, 8 to 9. This is what
you create to-do lists.
Yes, to-do list, and I put 8 to 9. This is what I will do. 9 to this thing. Even if you will not even follow the schedule strictly, maybe because of some things that just happen unexpectedly or so, but the fact that you have a mental picture as to this is how I want to spend my time today, it will help you to do a lot in terms of procrastination. So I think that is one of the key hacks to procrastination, and then managing procrastination, really.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Procrastination is delaying till the next minute what you can actually get done now. So that's very useful. Ensuring that you build the discipline to adhere, not just create the to-do list, but the discipline to adhere to your own schedule yourself. And that's very important because nobody can excel without the discipline required to follow through on what they have scheduled or planned to do per time. That's very, very important. Thank you. Now, there's a question that came to mind. Were you just reading and always reading when you were in the university as an undergraduate? Did you have time for other things? And what other things were you involved in? Can you share?
Okay. I was involved in a lot of things. I was always busy while I was in university, like always busy. And one of the things is I understood early because one of the things that informed my decision to study economics in school was because I fell in love with finance early. So I knew I was going to still play in the finance space as early as possible. But I was thinking, oh, accounting, because that was the major thing in secondary school. But later, I got advice here and there from people, and then I later settled on studying economics, and because I loved economics too. So now, getting into school to study economics, I wasn't just studying economics because I want to study economics. I was studying because I want to build a career in finance. So one of the things that I involved myself in was to join a student society. There was a student society in school called the Investment Society. And that society has built its reputation to the extent that it is the best student finance society in sub-Saharan Africa. That's how we like to term ourselves, because when you Google some of the things we do, you will see that it is one in even sub-Saharan Africa. Like a good example is colloquium, one of the events we host. So now, one of the things that this did for me was it helped me to bridge the gap between finance theoretically and then real life, because every day, so that I can put context into how busy I was, every day by 6 to 7 a.m. in the morning before people wake up, we go there to have a meeting as to discuss the market, what happened in the financial market a day before. So
in the stock market,
both Nigerian markets, US markets, Asian markets, even as far back as UK and EU markets, we talk about everything.
Wow.
And so they'll put you, they'll build a schedule as to, oh, you are the one that is taking today, and the one that is talking about this market today, tomorrow. And when you come there, you present, and then the people in the circle gives you a feedback and ask questions. So you have to understand how the market is faring, not just theoretically. You have to be able to explain and put the drivers together. So those things took my time. Apart from that, that was not the only meetings we used to have. We still had different divisions under it. I was a management consulting, and I was a senior analyst then in the division. So I had to do a lot of assignments, even checking other people's assignments, the new analysts that just joined and all. That was one side, building my career. Secondly, I did a lot of internships while I was in school. I interned at different companies, majorly finance companies, about 3 before I finished school. So that was on the.
Was that on your own, or it was initiated by the school?
There was only one that was initiated by the school. The remaining 2 or 3 were bought by myself.
Awesome. Because
of strike. There was a time we had 7-month strike. So I used 7-month strike to intern at a venture capital firm. So
okay.
So another thing I did, which is, it forms a bedrock of my belief system. It is my work with God. So I was very, very involved in fellowships while I was in school. Because
in Christian student fellowships.
Yes, a Christian student fellowship.
Okay.
I was very much involved in that. I even held leadership position in a faculty fellowship. So we had a faculty Christian fellowship in school then. So for social science, and then I held a leadership position there for about 2 years. It's supposed to be 1 tenure, but because of strike and everything, it extended to 2 years. So I held the position for about 2 years before I dropped the baton and handed over to someone else. So those were a lot of things. I was involved in so many things. Career, even volunteering. I volunteered for a mathematics league competition while I was in school then, just to be able to enlighten students on mathematics and then building their calculative skills. So there were a lot of volunteering also that I did. If I remember, I also volunteered as I was chosen as head of speakers for one of my year mark events of my department, NESA, Student Association. So I was the head of speakers. I was the one in charge of speaking to the speakers that would come to speak in the conference. And the conference was well attended with over 500 students. And we were the core people who planned the event. So I did a lot of things while I was in school.
A lot of volunteering work as well. That's awesome. So you said that you did some internship while in school, while as an undergraduate student. What did you learn in the corporate world at that time that you think helped you?
Okay, so apart from the technical knowledge I gained, which was a lot, especially with that 7 months internship, because I had time to be going there every day. Another thing I learned was the discipline that was involved in being part of the corporate world. I had to wake up every day, like every single day, to go to work, and I must get to work before 8. I was even thinking at some point that I'm an intern, and then there was 1 week that I was coming late.
What company was that?
The company is the Oak Capital.
The Oak Capital. Okay.
The venture capital firm on the island. So there was a time when I was coming late to work, although it wasn't intentional, but maybe I was just relaxed. I felt like, I'm an intern, so there's no much pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. After 1 week, I didn't know that the HR was looking at me. After 1 week, I just saw that she summoned me to her office. I was like, "You've been coming late," and I'm like, "Oh my God!" So you will actually notice me in this company. So that discipline was just ingrained in me to know that no matter whether you're an intern or not, you have to get up from your bed early as possible and get your legs down here and come and do your work. Even if you don't have so much work to do, you must come here and just sit down. We will see you. So. And then another thing he helped me to do was he built my ability to teamwork. I'm someone who just likes, it's not like I don't like working with people before. But when I'm working with people and then you are making things harder, I just feel like I can do it on my own. Let me just do it and just get out of here. You are just wasting my time. But there, I knew that there's no way you can do this on your own.
You have to collaborate.
Yeah. So I learned that skill of collaboration and teamwork while I was there.
Okay, so if you want to create a formula, I believe there is nothing like one key to success. There are so many keys. If you want to create a formula, let's say a formula for success, what would be your non-negotiable 3 elements? I'm trying to put it well. What would be your non-negotiables, for success as a young person? Just maybe three things. Even though you've spoken about some of them, I just want you to give them, specific names.
Okay, so my non-negotiables would be, the first one is have a strong discipline as to build a strong schedule and system around yourself. Because sometimes we are low on motivation, and one of the things that helps us to continue is the systems and structures we have built around us.
Self-discipline. Awesome.
Discipline to stick to your schedules. The second thing is, which for me is personal, for some people they might not have it, is that walk with God. For me, God is a very big factor in my life, in the way I've succeeded and the way I've seen things play out in my life. There are times when I've tried all my best and then things are not working out, and then the last result that just comes up as the hope of the common man for me is God. So I don't joke with my prayers, I don't joke with my walk with God, because that's something that fuels my determination. Even everything I do, the determination, discipline, everything comes from my knowledge of the walk with God. Because for me, as I walk with God, it teaches me how I should even put that schedules into play, and how I should even put those structures into play. So that's the second one. And then the third thing, which I think is very, very important, is relationships. So I've spoken a lot about my relationships with my parents and how it has helped me. I've had relationships with other people too that has helped me. Like this investment society I joined now is because I have an aunt that is that is vast in finance and in
Investment.
financial sector, investment sector in Nigeria. So she was one that told me that there is a society or students in your school, go and join that society. If she didn't tell me, there's no way I would have joined. And then going forward, even in my career and other things, there have been a lot of times when just sitting down and speaking to her has helped to enlighten me in some of the things that I would have struggled with if I didn't speak to her. So there are a lot of, not just that, there are a lot of people that have helped me in different places, spiritually, financially, and every other areas. In fact, I would describe myself as someone who is blessed with people resources. I'm someone that is blessed with resources, and then I'm trying to learn how to leverage some of those people resources that I have. But I think that one of the key things you can have growing up is to build solid relationships around you.
Awesome. You started a group for young people. Some of them are undergraduates in the university and all of that. What was your objective, or what are your objectives in that group? What's the name of the group?
Game Changers, sir.
Game Changers. Okay, I think I saw it somewhere. What are the objectives of that group, and what have you achieved so far with the young people that you have there? How many young people do you have there now?
We have over 200 young people.
Okay.
Even though we remove some of them when we discovered they are not active, because they are not. but right now we have over 200 on that group chat. So for me, Game Changers was just birthed. So for context purpose, most of the people on that group are people within the ministry, the church I am in. So I created the group for people within the church who are in the same age range, that's within the age range of like 18 to 27. Who have the same, we can relate with each other.
Gen Zs.
Yes, we can relate to each other's struggles. We are all probably going through the same phase in life. And so I created that group, and then because I realized that there is a gap in the way we relate with each other, especially in the ministry, for people in the same age range. Instead of us to collaborate, we like competing with each other. It was obvious, especially in the ministry, we like competing with each other. So I created a group so that we can see ourselves as people who are collaborating, collaboration over competition. It helps to do a lot. And so that will push me into what some of the things we have achieved. Some of the things we have achieved in that group is that we have been able to bring people from different geographical locations, both from Abuja, Lagos, even South Africa. We have some people from South Africa there, some people from other countries there, that we now see ourselves as family. And then we are pushing each other on whatsoever thing we are doing. We know that we have each other's back. And then the second thing why I created this group is that I discovered that a lot of them don't have, as you said, a lot of them don't have the exposure to life as some people do. There's always that gap in exposure for some people, maybe because of the university they went to, or maybe because of the place they grew up in. They don't just have that exposure. While they are in school, majority of them just do school, class, go to class, come back, or some of them even do fellowships. Go to class, come back, do fellowship, and that's all. Nothing about their career, nothing about joining any association, nothing about getting associated with people. They just want to read book and then come out. And most times, the irony of life is that even people that do that, they're just focusing on the book, they don't even still come out with the first class. So I just believed that it would be nice to have a community, as it were, where you can see people who are doing other things, who are still your age mates, and then they're able to balance everything together and still come out top in what they're doing. And it has helped to inspire a lot of people, actually. A lot of people have been inspired. In that same group, we have people that are in tech, people that are in even ministry, people that are in different areas of life, and they're doing very well for themselves.
Okay, thank you. You've mentioned that you've been privileged to lead, at different places in your faculty and all of that. What leadership lessons have you learned? Maybe you can share two of them. What leadership lessons have you learned? Because leading people is more difficult than leading things.
Oh, I'm telling you, sir.
Okay, all right. So, what leadership lessons have you learned?
You meant to say leadership lesson. One thing that came to mind, I just say is leading people is so hard, like so hard. But I think we learn as we progress. And progressively, one of the things I've been able to learn, I'll just say one, and maybe because that's one of the things I've just been coming to terms with recently, and is that one of the greatest skills of leadership is to know how to delegate. I struggle with delegating, and so most times when it comes to leadership, I'll just be like, oh, I'll give them the task, but if they don't do it, I'll come back and do it by myself. Because you people are just stressing me. It's something I can do. My mom used to say something. She would say, I told you at Timu Nubugbe, I will do everything.
What does that mean?
Like both the eyes and the nose, everything. I can carry everything and run.
That's literally what does it mean? Because of people who don't people do not understand Yoruba.
Okay, so it means that all these things people are complaining about, I can literally do everything and still do it well. So
without delegating it to you.
Without delegating it to you, I can just take it and do it by myself. But I've just come to understand that most times when you do things that when you fail to delegate, you might still get it done. But first of all, you get it done at a slower pace. Yeah. And secondly, you raise men who are not true to the vision, but
you raise mediocres as well.
Yes. At the end of the day, and then people will not even be true to the vision. They will see it as if they are doing things for you. At the end of the day,
they are helping you.
Yes, as if they are helping you. So the moment you are not online or the moment you are not available, they are not ready to step into it and feel it. They don't see it as our team. They see it as your team. So that is one of the biggest leadership lessons I've learned, especially recently. And then I've been trying to work on. It's still part of systems to put systems in place that I can delegate people. This is your work. If you like, don't do it. If you like, do it. And then if they don't do it, I will come back and still talk and tell them you didn't do this thing.
Because you need to hold people accountable. Yes, when you are leading people, you need to hold them accountable. That's very important. All right. Thank you. Maybe this is one of my last questions. You've been involved in investment analysis. You've had just so much interest in that, and I think the last time I spoke with you, you said that's where you want to create your career, around investment and stock market and all of that. So I want to pick your brain. Many people don't understand how the stock market works. All right. Can you suggest how to invest rightly in stocks? How do you build your investment portfolio? Fortunately, I read economics as well, my first degree. So, but I don't want us to be speaking certain language, so that because we have different people from different backgrounds who watch this the podcast. So, how do you invest rightly from your own point of view?
Okay. All right. So investment is, as you said, is diverse. There's investment in stock, investment in fixed income, bonds and bills and etc. like that. But for stock market, I think that's the question you asked.
Yes.
Right. So I think just like every other forms of investment, you have to first choose your investment strategy. Why are you even investing in the first instance? Do you want to invest for long term, or you're investing for a car you want to buy in the next 2 months, or you are investing, you must determine your investment strategy and the duration of your investment first before you get it.
That's what you call tenure.
Yes, your investment tenure. So when you determine that one, that's what will now determine the kind of stock you are going to buy. For example, the stocks that have done well, and that is even it is not far-fetched. That's how you see even in advanced economies, even in advanced countries. Most times the stocks that do crazily well in the year are not always the giant stocks. They're always the penny stocks that you can get in with small amounts. They are the ones that will do like 200%, 100% on a year to date. That maybe if you put 200,000, you get 200,000 back that same year. Most times always penny stocks. So, but when you see giant stocks or stable stocks, most times they don't skyrocket like that. So the moment you understand that I want to keep maybe your money for a long term, most times you would want to invest in stable stocks that you know that over time these stocks are going to still remain there, yes, and they will grow at a steady rate. So, but if you are investing in a penny stock, you should already have it in your mind that it's a high risk, high returns investment. You can put your money there and then something can happen to the company after
and it comes down.
And it comes down. So you must look into your investment tenure and the investment strategy. What do you want to? Why do you want to invest? Do you want to invest for a long time? Some people are investing maybe for their children in the next 10 years. That's a long time. I would advise you to invest in stable stocks. All those banking stocks. Banking stocks are generally stable stocks. Even some high class oil and gas stocks are always stable stocks. Those are stocks you should look into investing. And don't expect that they are going to give you 40% in a week. There are some stocks that give 40% a week. I think last week eTransact gave 47% in just 1 week. So there are some stocks that will just do crazily like that. This year, I think the highest returns, the stock that has the highest returns is Beta Glass. It has given like 400 and, if I'm not mistaken, like 475% from January to now. Yes. Wow. From January to now. In fact, the NGX market right now is like, it has done times 2 of what it has done over the last 1 year in terms of its ASI, its all-share index. So the market is booming so well. People are bringing money from abroad. People are bringing money into the economy a lot. So it has caused a lot of stocks to do 400, 300, big numbers. But in as much as they are doing that, it's still your investment strategy that will allow you to calm down and say, why don't I want to invest in this stock? Is this stock a stock that I know that can stand for the next 20 years that I want to keep? Have I looked at their financials? And sometimes you also need to pick the brain of people that are in the system. No matter how wise you are in, or maybe how discerning, you might use the word discerning, you are in picking stocks, you must still do it based on fundamental analysis. So sometimes it's also to meet people that are working in maybe in investment companies or that do this research on a day-to-day basis and speak to them. What do you think about this? And then they would give you their reservations, they'll give you their comment, and from there you can look into what you can invest.
All right, thank you, Damilare. So what's next for you? What's next for you? What's the next big thing you want to do now? You don't have to be specific, but what's next for you?
For me, right now, I'm serving NYSC compulsory 1 year service for Nigerian graduates. But one thing I want to do is this next 3 to 4 years of my life, I want you to build my career so much, to get to a senior role, because my long-term plan and my long-term goal is to get to a level where I can have a say in the investment, the investment roadmap in Nigeria and even Africa at large. So I want to be able to build my career so much, get involved in this. As you said, I have my particular niche in investment and asset management. To build my career in that, build the experience, build the work skills and everything that I need, so that by the time I'm clocking 3 to 4 years, I'm already probably in the senior, maybe a VP in a very extreme case, or maybe a partner in a very extreme case also, so that I can start looking to affect.
That's very ambitious, really.
Yes. So that
takes a long time to become a VP or something.
Yeah. Although there are still some levels that are attainable, like a senior associate.
Yeah, senior associate, yes.
In 3 to 4 years, that's still fine. If I can get to a senior associate role in 3 to 4 years, that's a very, very good. But I know that there is a lot of work to be put into, especially at the beginning of one's career in a very tasking sector like the financial sector is very tough. So I'm just looking to bury my head into my career, build as much as I can, get to a level where my decisions can affect Nigeria and even Africa at large in their investment landscape, and then
awesome. Okay, thank you very much. What's your parting shots to Gen Zs? What's your parting shots? What would you say? What's your parting shots?
Okay, my parting shots would be, I can't remember the quote really well now, but the quote says something like around this line. It says,
and do you have any book you want to recommend to Gen Zs that will be, that will be impactful for Gen Zs?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just, that's 2 questions, then we end. Thank you.
Okay, so one of the biggest books that changed my life is The 7 Habits of an Highly Effective Person by
By Stephen Covey.
Yes, by Stephen R. Covey. So if you read that book, I think it will help you. And all the structures and systems that I've been saying a lot, I think it is well embedded in that book. It just helps me to be able to structure my life better. So for my parting words, as I was saying earlier, I can't really remember the quote now, but it says like there are some days where 10 years feels like a day, while sometimes one day we feel like 10 years of all the work you have done. I'll circle back on that particular quote. Maybe you can add it to the caption when you're saying it. But it just shows that consistency is key in whatsoever thing you're doing.
That's right.
Cut off every desire to compare yourself to other people and keep building in silence. There are times when
building in silence.
Yes, when 10 years will look like one day, it will look as if there is nothing. But sometimes one day we now bring back the returns of all the 10 years that you have been working with. So that's just my parting word to you. Build in silence and the results will show.
Thank you very much, Damilare. It's been a nice time with you today on Narism and Beyond. And I hope to bring you back sometimes for us to talk more about the stock market, the investment world, asset management, and all of those things that you have interest in. Thank you very much for your time today. This is Narism and Beyond with Michael Adekombi. Ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Narism and Beyond on YouTube. Just search it, you'll find it there. Ensure you are inspired as you go. Narism and Beyond with Michael Adekombi. Thank you until I come to your screen again. Have a good one and have an inspired season. Shalom.
From different parts of the world, trying to achieve and
Welcome back to Narrative and Beyond with Michael Adekombi. I still have my